I don't believe in autonomy.
You don't?
No.
Why is that?
Because you want to be autonomous, start your own company. I don't believe in it. I don't think employees want autonomy. I think that is a giant misnomer. Do they want to have some element of autonomy of how they do their jobs? Yes. But I do not think that the vast majority of people are actually happier in a truly autonomous environment.
Yeah, same. Look, you hired a team, and like every book on your shelf told you to do, you finally step back. And somehow the whole thing is harder now than when you were doing it all by yourself. You're not crazy. It actually is harder. Because here's the thing, every book, every podcast, and every founder theory that you've ever read all told you the same exact thing. Give them autonomy, trust them, and get out of the way. And you did that. They didn't, and here you are. Now you're sitting at your desk wondering why nobody on your team cares the way you do, why every single decision still has to come back to you, and why the last 3 people you hired didn't actually change anything. See, I've spent years inside of more businesses than I can count, different industries, different countries, and the same exact patterns keep showing up every single time. The reality is people need systems, and systems don't work without the people. So Saturday morning, I got a text from a founder that I work with. It was one line. She said, I give up. I'm just going to do it all by myself. So I called her, and turns out she had been gone for a few weeks, out of the country. And when she came back, the team was right where she had left them. Same client questions sent in the inboxes, same project handoffs that didn't happen, 2 new fires that nobody had touched because they didn't even know that they were allowed to. The reality is nothing had moved. So when we got on the phone, the first thing she said wasn't even about the team. It was about her. She said, I think I'm a bad leader. And I told her exactly what I'm about to tell you. She's not a bad leader. She's leading in a room with no walls. Her team isn't free. They're exposed. When she's there, every decision finds her because there's nowhere for them to make it without her watching. And when she's gone, like she was for those few weeks, the decisions just don't get made. They sit, they wait. The team isn't running things in her absence. They're just waiting for her to come back. Every standard that she has lives in her head because there's no place to put it down. And every escalation leads to her phone because they don't actually have a door that's actually theirs. Your team isn't asking for autonomy, they're asking for walls. They're asking for somewhere to do the job that's actually theirs. Once I said it that way, she got quiet on the phone. She said, yeah, that could be true. Now, I've had this same exact conversation maybe with a dozen founders within this year. Same script, same panic. None of them had the words for it. So let me give you the words. What's actually happening to you is you've been sold a lot about what your team wants. Now, Brian Chesky said it out loud last year, but I feel like most people missed it. He said people don't actually want autonomy. They say they do, but the data inside his own company shows the opposite. And here's the line that landed for me. He said, what people don't want is a lack of empowerment. They want to be integrated, not disintegrated. Most people heard that and just dismissed it. They wrote it off as a tech company thing, but it's not a tech company thing. It's a team thing. Anywhere you got people working together, this applies. When you look at the word organization, the whole job is to organize, not step back, step in. Your team doesn't want to be free from you. They want to know 3 things: where to stand, what they own, and who decides what. Because if you don't give them that, what they get isn't freedom, it's exposure. What it looks like is they're standing in the middle of an open floor with no idea where the walls are. Every decision feels like it could be the wrong one. Every initiative could be the one that gets called out, or every project could be the one that's not quite right. So they don't decide. They ask, they escalate, and they wait. And you see it as a their problem. They don't take ownership. They don't take initiative. They need to be told what to do. Now, I want you to listen to yourself when you say those words. They're standing in an empty room, right? Of course they don't take initiative. They have no idea where the lines are. Of course they don't take ownership. There's nothing to own. Most founders read this whole thing as a hiring problem. It's the same room, same no walls, same problem in 3 months. But it's not a hiring problem. The team you have is fine. They're just stranded because people need systems and systems don't work without people. So now you build the walls, 3 artifacts, 1 for each of these 3 things that they want to know. Where to stand, that's the rundown. What they own, that's the number. And who decides, that's the call. Build all 3 and everything else flows from them. But before I get into how to actually build them, listen, let me start with the first one, the rundown. This is where your team's work actually lives. And it doesn't matter what tool you use. It could be Notion, Asana, ClickUp. Whatever you got is fine. What matters is that it has a fixed home. So you pin it to the top of your team's workspace, somewhere anyone can find it without even asking you. The doc has to have 3 columns: done, stuck, up next, and that's the whole structure. Now, done means what was closed last week. not worked on, or almost there, just closed. And I'm strict about this for a reason, because the moment you let in progress count as done, the doc starts lying to you. The whole system collapses and every meeting turns into a story session about what almost finished instead of what actually shipped. Stuck means anything that's been waiting for more than 3 days. Waiting on a decision, waiting on a person, waiting on any type of piece of information. And past 3 days is the threshold because that's when momentum dies. Once that happens, the person who owns it stops thinking about it daily. They start working around it, and that's how stuck becomes permanent. The doc catches it before it does. And up next is the one thing each person commits to closing this week. 1, not 3. And here's the rule that I defend the hardest. The moment the doc starts to have 3 commitments, 2 of them will not ship. And nobody's going to be honest about which 2, so you keep it to 1, because 1 commitment is the only honest commitment. Now here's how it actually runs. Every team member updates their role by Tuesday, 5 p.m. Then Wednesday morning, you meet for 45 minutes, same time, same place, with the same people. You cancel anything else before you cancel this because the doc is current before anyone walks into the room. Most of the meeting is just verification. Each person reads their role out loud. Anyone can ask questions. Anyone can flag a conflict. And your job in that meeting isn't to run it, it's to audit it. So you hold the definitions and you listen for 3 things only. A decision they need from you that they're not asking for, a handoff between 2 people that's about to break, or a stuck that's been there before. Outside of these 3 things, you do not talk. You save your ideas for offline because the rundown is the system. The meeting is just where the doc gets stress tested. And when somebody new joins the team, you send them the link on day 1 and they learn how the team operates by reading it backwards. Now here's the part that most founders miss. The rundown runs whether you show up or not. So even if you are traveling, the team still updates it Tuesday at 5 p.m. The Wednesday meeting still has to happen and the team keeps the same rules because that's the difference between a meeting and a system. It doesn't depend on you being in the room. Okay, the second one is the number. Now this one's a single dashboard that everyone in your team sees. You can pin it to your workspace, you can put it on the TV in the office if you got one. Whatever fits your setup, doesn't really matter. But the point is that it's visible to your team every day. Each role in your team has 1 number. Now, when you're picking that number, you have to run it through 3 filters. First, does a number actually live somewhere? Like, can they pull it up in your CRM, your ops software, or let's say your billing system? Or if it's in a spreadsheet that somebody has to update, it's not a real number. It has to come from a place that doesn't lie. Second, can they move it on their own? Or do they need somebody else to do something first? See, most founders break this filter the same way. They make marketing responsible for revenue, but marketing can't make sales calls. So that's not a number that marketing owns. That's a number marketing helps with. It's a whole different thing. Third, will you let the number stay theirs for at least 3 months? Because they need time to get good at moving it. Now, most founders break this filter when the number isn't moving fast enough. They get nervous, so they just add a second number just to make sure that we're tracking the right thing. But that second number is the one that kills the role, because now nobody really owns either one. So with those 3 filters in mind, let me show you what real numbers look like for people on your team. If you got someone in sales, their number is how much they've got cooking compared to what they need to close. So if the goal is $1 million in sales this quarter, they should have $3 million in the pipeline, because if they don't, there aren't enough chances to swing. If you got account managers, their number is how many clients are sticking around. So out of every 10 clients, whose contracts come up this month, and how many of them said yes again? That's the number. If you got an ops person, their number is how often the work goes out right the first time, or how often it ships on time. So pick whichever one breaks when something's off. If you got somebody running marketing, their number is how many real leads they bring in each week. And by real, I mean leads your sales team actually wants to call, not just clicks, not just signups. Are you seeing the pattern? Whatever the role actually does, there's 1 number that tells you if they're doing it, and that's their number. So once you got the numbers picked, you built a dashboard. 1 screen, all the numbers are visible. Each person can see their own and everybody else's. And you might be wondering, why does everyone need to see? Because that's what makes the dashboard a system instead of a private review tool. When everyone sees the dashboard, nobody owns it alone. So the data does the management for you. Now the dashboard has to update on its own, because if you have to ask somebody what the numbers are this week, then the system isn't built yet. The numbers should be visible every Monday morning before you even had your coffee. And then once a quarter, you sit down and check it. You have a calendar invite that locks for the whole year, 4 meetings, 60 minutes each, where each role sits, what their number is, whether the data is still pulling cleanly, whether anyone needs a different number for the next 3 months. And that's it, the dashboard plus the check-in every 3 months. You build it once and you keep it running. Okay, the third one is the call. This is another one-page document. Think of it like an internal FAQ. Every recurring decision your team would need to make if you went silent for a week would live here. It could be refunds, pricing, approvals, anywhere the answer normally is, let me ask the founder. And it's bigger than that. It's anywhere they pause before, let's say, just responding to a client. Anywhere they say, let me check on something and get back to you. And what they're actually checking is whether you be okay with what they want to do. So once you've got the list, next to each one, you write a one-line rule. And the rule isn't a guideline, it's a sentence. Anyone in the room can quote it to anybody. So let me talk you through what this could look like, right? So let's say you're running refunds. Refunds under $500 could be account manager's call and they issue it without asking. Refunds between $500 to $1,000 is the account lead's call, and it's the same thing. They issue it without asking you. Refunds over $1,000, that's your call, and you have to respond within the same day. Any new vendor, that's your call because you don't want to be surprised with new tools or new systems. Pricing exceptions for clients, that's a sales lead's call because they have the context. And pricing exceptions for existing clients has to be your call because that's a precedent thing. If you give one client a discount, every other client finds out. So you end up with 8 rows, maybe 10, and the whole thing fits on one page, maybe 2 pages. Now here's how the rollout works. You walk it through with your team in the next leadership meeting, and you tell them, if I miss something, you flag it now. After this document is locked. So you give them a week to push back, and they will push back. That's the whole point of this. See, most of the pushbacks are going to be where the doc was wrong. Few of them are going to be where they wanted more authority and didn't realize that you were willing to give it. Some of them are going to be where they wanted less authority because the responsibility scared them. But that last one, that's actually the most useful one because it tells you exactly who's not ready to own that. Then it's locked. But locked does not have to mean forever. You review the call once a quarter, same calendar invite as the number check-in, 60 minutes, what worked, what broke, and what needs adjusting. And when somebody new joins, the call goes in their first day packet right alongside the rundown. So they learn the rules of the room before they walk into it. Now, once it's running, when a request comes in, the team checks the call first. And they only come to you if it's outside what's on the page. And most requests aren't. So your team handles 90% of what would have hit your phone. So you don't have a leadership problem. You're leading in a room with no walls. Your team isn't free, they're exposed. And they've been telling you in 1,000 small ways, the escalations on Saturday morning, the work that comes back with the message, is this what you wanted? The good people who quit and the average ones who stayed because they stopped trying to read your mind. So you build the walls. The rundown is when, the number is what, and the call is who. Build all 3 and your team has somewhere to do their job that's theirs. They can decide things without asking because the call says they can. They can rest inside their own work because the number shows them how they're doing, and they can stop standing in the middle of an open room because the rundown gives them their place. Because people need systems, and systems don't work without the people. So next time someone tells you to just give them autonomy, ask them autonomous in what? And if you can't answer in 5 seconds, the work isn't to give them more room. The work is to build the room, and the room is the 3 artifacts that I went through. So before you go, here's one thing that I want you to do this week. Don't try to build all 3 at once. Just pick one, the one that scares you the most. Start there. That's your big test. Build it so they can stay.